Just finished West Ham 1, Arsenal 3. West Ham went ahead and lost 3-1. We're here to talk about the game. Somehow. At 1-0 Gonzo. We were 1-0 at half time. Let's talk about the first half. I suppose it was 1-0. Ogbona's shoulder effort put us in front via a massive deflection.
Let's get something in context at this point, because clearly we've lost. Up to the point of us scoring, it was one of the worst games of Premier League football you're ever likely to see. It was truly atrocious. The only thing that was probably worse than the Premier League football was possibly that Arsenal team, who were absolutely awful. I thought, I can see why they're not winning. I can see why they've sacked their manager. Their players did not fancy that at all. Whilst I don't think we were swashbuckling and brilliant, we were okay. There were parts of our game that were okay. I was scribbling down on me bit of paper at that point who I thought might be, the contenders for man of the match, and we're 1-0 up. Cruising would be wrong, but I was sat there, Geo. I was sat there watching that game, imagining, I don't mean in a joyous sort of way because we've got our own problems, but imagining Arsenal getting relegated, if you know what I mean. I thought, well, these boys are in serious trouble. I made myself a cup of tea and then came back in and settled down. I placed my bet before that because I thought West Ham will win both halves. I never usually place a bet during football. When I made my cup of tea, came back into the lounge and settled down, ready for West Ham to extend the lead, go on, win the game and move up to mid-table.
I thought the first half was awful. It was boring. I wouldn't want to be a non-West Ham or Arsenal fan watching that tonight. Too size, devoid of confidence, devoid of creativity, too scared to try anything in case they went 1-0 down. We were happy for them to have the ball at the back. They didn't want to push it further forward than the back, because when they did, they lost it. Then for the last 10-15 minutes just before we scored, I thought we started to push a little bit. I thought we were getting little bits and pieces, and I think it was almost because Arsenal was so crap. I think we sort of moved up in confidence a little bit. We thought, hang about, these boys are really, really that bad. We got the goal, and at half time I was thinking, right, not great. We haven't been brilliant in the first half. We've just been better than them, who've been really bad. I thought the job's half done now, because I was quite confident we would score first. We would do what we did against Chelsea. We'd sit back, we'd tighten up completely, we'd close shop, and we'd say, right, Anderson, Antonio, you're now our only attacking outlets. Everyone else is just defenders. It's not what you want to see, but given the circumstances of the form we're in and stuff, I thought I'll take a scrappy victory here. And it all went downhill. Pretty quickly. 58 minutes is when Arsenal scored their first goal, and it was almost their first real attack of the game, if you like. Kolasinac came down the left, cut it back to Martinelli, one touch, bang, in the back of the net. Not much more you can say about that, really, about their goal.
Well, there is. There is. And I thought we would. I said the key today was to win the midfield battle. Uncontested. The geezer that played it out to Kolasinac, whoever it was, uncontested, unchallenged in the central midfield area. Was able to run into space, which shouldn't be there. Plays the ball out to Kolasinac. Fredericks and Snodgrass are both there. They're both there. He just stays in the middle of the pair of them, crosses the ball over. You watch this when Martinelli gets the ball. Declan Rice, Ogbonna and Balbuena, they all go like that. I think every single one of them expected the other one to get the ball. Which hadn't really been a feature of our play up to that point, because I think we had contested midfield. Whilst I thought we lacked a bit of guile, I think the right-hand side is weak for us from an attacking point of view. I do think Snodgrass and Fredericks had that right-back area sewn up. So the central midfield was good at that point. The right-back was good at that point. And I thought Ogbonna and Balbuena were playing well. I also thought Rice was covering in front of them well. But for all three areas to go to sleep at that point, what on earth happened there? Literally all three. Not the central midfield, not the not the wide area, and not the centre halves, the central defensive position. None of them did their jobs at that point. You've got to give credit to the goal, granted, but it was too easy. And all right, it's finished the goal well, then fine. It should have been cut out at the wide position. Fine. If it wasn't there, it should have been cut out in the central midfield. Too easy.
Then the heads just went completely. They just completely gave up. The thing is, just before they scored, I felt like between the start of the half, I thought we came out and I thought we were looking okay, actually. I thought we started on the front foot a bit and I thought, brilliant, this is what we need. And I thought maybe there was an opportunity for Pelé to be a bit brave. How brave do you want to go, Pellegrini? Because there's an opportunity there. You had Snodgrass on a booking, maybe bring on Haller and put Antonio on the right, or get Holland on and really try and go for it and get the second one while they run the ball, but we didn't. And just before the equaliser, Arsenal were getting a bit more of the ball, but as soon as they got that equaliser, Arsenal were on top. Our heads just went completely. Just before it went 1-1, there was a substitution which didn't impact the first goal, but it certainly impacted the second goal and the third goal. Creswell had his hamstring. He had absolutely snapped Pepe, which is the right thing to do, I think. He was struggling. He knew he couldn't run. Pepe ran at him. He knew, I just have to take him out. You could see him saying to someone, come over and help me. I can't run. So he takes him out. Masuaku comes on. No complaints about the substitution. It's the substitution you have to do. You have to take your life back on. But in the 65th minute, what the fuck is he doing? Okay, Pepe, the world knows Pepe is left-footed. Everyone knows. This is not an 18-year-old. This is not a surprise by Lundberg. This is a £70 million player, left-footed. He's coming at you. There's one thing you have to do. Don't let him on to his left foot. Show him down the side, okay? Now, I think Creswell had done it superb. I think Creswell managed Pepe really well. In the first half, there was that tackle. He absolutely went through him. He won the ball and took Pepe out. Pepe was down for 2 minutes. He thought, that's what we need. We need a little bit of that today. We need a bit of fight. The complete opposite of Masuaku. He stands off him, lets him cut onto his left. Fantastic finish by Pepe. But what the absolute fuck is Masuaku doing? And I just felt a bit sorry for some of the team who had been. I know the first goal was they conceded hadn't done, but until then, for an hour, they'd been pretty well disciplined. They were keeping their shape. I thought they were pressing in bits and spells. They were pressing a little bit, and then this guy comes onto the pitch and fucking stands still and goes, there you go, have a free fucking hit, bam, 2-1 down, and then the heads go even fucking further down. But Gonzo 2-1 down.
Yeah, I think one of the first things I taught my kids when I go down the park is do that and then go the other way. You know, make out you're going that way and go the other one. Was easy. Dropped his shoulder, cut inside, and he curled it nicely in. Really nice finish. Give him some credit for that. But up until that point, you said, because you said Cresswell had snapped him. Well, he'd actually done it twice because he took him out before that as well. Cresswell, it wasn't just the showing him onto his weaker foot. You're absolutely right about that. Of course, Cresswell was also roughing him up. Mike Dean was allowing Cresswell to rough him up. And I actually wrote down on my paper, because it was when Cresswell took him out first, in the first half, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to, sorry, that tackle. I was talking the legit tackle in the first half when he went in and won the ball.
And I actually wrote down the Arsenal players don't fancy it, and they didn't at that point. The Arsenal players did not fancy it. If he stayed down for far longer than he needed to, by the way, far longer than he needed to. And I was looking at him, I'm talking about Pepe, thinking he wants someone to take him off. I was sure of it. I'm still convinced of it now. At that point in the game, he was thinking, someone help me, someone take me off. I'm not enjoying myself here. This is not the club I wanted to join. This, whatever. It's not the club I thought I was joining. I didn't expect to be down here struggling and then getting hacked by this geezer, Cresswell. And I mean, think of the worst possible footballer you can at the moment.
Masuaku.
Non-West Ham. I got to be honest with you. I was thinking of all sorts. I had Carlton Palmer in my mind. For those that might be a bit old for many of you, but he turned almost an instant from Carlton Palmer into Ronaldinho, and we allowed that to happen. And I felt the whole team did at that point. How we have allowed it to come to that, I don't know. The players were gone by that point. But it was 2-1. I was gone. I was gone. I had it. How much attention I paid to the game after that. is very little. I think I was moaning at my son. Not that he didn't play. But we were moaning about the game. I let him stay up a bit later tonight as a treat to watch West Ham. I think at the point I was moaning, they scored their third one.
They completely crumbled after 2-1. They completely crumbled, and the guy that just scored a world, he was feeling confident, got the ball, stepped up to Masuaku once again and says, I'm going to try it again, mate. What are you going to do? Masuaku's answer, I'm actually going to duck out the way of your cross here. I'm actually going to get out the way, because I don't know what he's thinking. Pepe just dinks it. Masuaku sort of moves his body out the way. There's Aubameyang, one of the best finishers in the league. He's not had a sniff all night. Aubameyang gets one. He's making no mistake from there. 3-1. I mean, it was game set at 2-1, but there goes your match at 3-1. It was just bam, bam, bam. 3 punches from Arsenal, and we're down. We're out. That's it. 70 minutes or something, and Aubameyang scored a third. That was game over. You look at the clock, you think 20 minutes, you think, what we're going to do? Nothing. I mean, he took Aller on immediately for Anderson. Their third goal was that quick. There wasn't even enough time to make a sub at 2-1 down, because by the time the sub was ready, it was 3-1. It was just, whenever you need composure, professionalism, it was just out the window altogether tonight. It went from a must win, then at 1-1 it went to a must not lose, pretty much, for Pellegrini. And we've blown both of them. We've blown both things, and it got that bad. In the last 5 minutes of the game, the Arsenal fans were olaying us. That's how bad it was. They looked like Barcelona. We allowed them to look like Barcelona. There was 3 or 4 players putting in effort at the end of the game. Rice, Fornals. I thought Antonio was fucked. He does not look good to me. He doesn't look fully fit. The second half, I thought he was gone, and then
he was.
At one point the ball come over to him. He looked like he was limping to the ball, and I thought, this isn't good.
He was. I wrote down, Geo. I wrote down after 50 minutes. He looked knackered.
I thought he was holding his hamstring at one point when he was getting the ball, and I thought, hang on a minute, if we're 3-1 down with 5-10 minutes to go, I'd actually rather finish with 10 men and get him off and patch him up for the next one to give us half a chance. You know, Aller was sort of pretending to hustle and bustle. He did that thing, when he waves people forward, but he didn't actually run about himself. I thought Holland was running around trying to do something, but there wasn't much you can do. He got brought on at 3-1 down. Masuaku, he didn't even offer anything going forward, though. At times there was space for him to move into. He was just standing still. I thought, what's happened to this guy? I know.
Well, he got a 5-year contract.
It's just, fucking hell, where's it gone wrong tonight, Gonzo? Let's start summarising the game and we'll talk about individual players.
Well, but it's not Endeavour. It's not players down in tools, not playing for the manager. We still tried afterwards. We still tried. We were trying to attack. There were tackles going on. We tackled well. I thought we started that second half well. As you mentioned earlier, we were on a corner pretty much straight away. We just can't do it. We can't do it. We can't play football well enough. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not the most tactical insight you've ever seen.
Well, there's not much other tactical insights.
We don't score enough, and we concede too many. Can't score, won't defend. It's the same. It's the same mantra. Somebody said I should get it inscribed, work out what that is in Latin, and put it on our crest. Can't score, won't defend. However, don't score, can't defend. Choose whatever you want. But we're just not good enough at playing football. I thought I was witnessing. I was looking at Arsenal. I thought this is the worst team in the league. I thought I was witnessing the worst team in the league. I was, but it just wasn't Arsenal. It's us.
That is the worst Arsenal team I've seen for years. I mean, just got beat 3-1.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. At 1-0, just before they equalised, if you said to me, do you fancy West Ham winning this, I would have said yes. I was quite content just because of how bad they were. But as soon as they got that first one, they went on top, and then 2-1, our heads dropped, 3-1, that was it. It was just game over completely. It's a bad night of football for West Ham tonight. That was a massive game. We ballsed it up big time. We've really ballsed it up. I don't know. I can't say Pellegrini got his tactics Spot on. I don't, because we would have lost the game otherwise. But I thought you had the right idea. I don't think we were necessarily translating it correctly on the pitch or whatever. But for that last half hour, that was bad from us. I know you said they were trying. I thought we were trying up until it was 2-1. As soon as they made it 2-1, I think they just gave up. I think half the team was trying, but I think the other half just didn't bother. They just gave up, down tools. They're lucky. We're lucky Arsenal didn't keep going. I think they could have had 4 than 5. I mean, they nearly did at one point.
Yeah.
I think they could have had more tonight if they really wanted to keep on trying. I think Freddie Ljungberg was actually just a bit worried that he would concede another goal if we went for it. I mean, we brought Haller on, had Haller and Antonio up front, and didn't cross the ball. You know, for 20 minutes, if we got a quick goal, we got a quick reply, we'd have had half a chance, but we didn't even test Leno in the second half. I don't think he had a save to make, did he? I could be wrong, but I don't think he had a save to make. I don't know. Individual players.
Mark Noble played well, I thought, up until the point where I stopped watching, really. I've got to be honest with you. Yeah, you say the effort stopped after 65 minutes. I'd be lying if I said I watched any amount of that game after 65 minutes. There was a point where I looked, oh, Holland's on. I didn't know. I was writing my notes for this. I was sorting stuff out for tomorrow. I just, it's terrible. I don't really know what to say. I'm not even massively angry about it. I think I'm more sad.
Yeah, I'm not angry. I'm angry at Masuaku and that's it. But generally, I'm just
we're not good enough. I mean, I don't. The trouble is, people are gonna. I'm talking about West Ham fans now, by the way. People are gonna start getting agitated with each other. People are going to start having a go at each other on social media in particular for each other's point of views, be it about players, be it about the manager or anything like that. We're going to start digging each other out because unfortunately this is what happens because people's patience has snapped with it. So I'm mindful of what I'm about to say, and I don't mean it to put pressure on anyone, but I just wonder what magical thing people think is going to turn this around. I cannot see it being turned around, and I don't mean that as a rhetorical question as such. I mean, it's because some might think it's actually we need a midfielder in a January transfer window that will turn it around. Some might think it's a change of manager that will turn it around. There may be any number of things, but surely nobody can disagree that we are one of the very worst teams in the league. Nobody can disagree with that. Even if you believe it can get better, even if you believe it will get better, the evidence of since Oxford, the evidence since then is very much so that we are one of the worst teams in the league, and comfortably so. You cannot think that we would go into any game with a huge amount of confidence of winning it. And I'm not talking about putting a 50p bet on. I'm talking whatever is important to you, whether it's 50 quid, 100 quid or whatever. You would not. Who's bottom of the league? Watford? Do not tell me that any West Ham fan is confident that if we were playing Watford on Saturday, that we go there and we steamroller them, that Troy Deeney wouldn't bother us, that Delafeu wouldn't bother us, or so on and so forth. We are bad. Very, very bad. That has highlighted it. That was and I still maintain it. That is a shocking Arsenal team. I was looking at that and thinking, my goodness, where have all Arsenal's good players gone? Okay, as it went on, yes, there he was. Aubameyang was there. Pepe had some ability, you could see it. But I was still looking at the midfield. I was still, looking at fullbacks. I know they got some injuries in the warm-up and so on and so forth, and they had an early substitution to make. Looking at the centre-halves, looking at these players, thinking these are not the players, be it under Arsene Wenger or George Graham, that I was used to seeing. There is no Mark Overmars, there's no Thierry Henry, Bergkamp, Tony Adams. Crikey, what they do for a Tony Adams? I'm watching it thinking this team is awful, and I don't watch the Arsenal fan TV, but I know they rant and they're upset, and I get it. I understand why Arsenal are upset to go from that to be that crap. Not at any point when I'm thinking these did I just thought, wow, West Ham are going to get a win here. I was thinking to myself, even if we beat Arsenal, it's still paper over the cracks. I almost fancied us to beat Arsenal more than I fancied Southampton with Ward-Prowse. I know it's Danny Ings has scored again with Redmond, who I really like, looks good. There's another geezer whose name escapes me, looks really good. But Southampton, I was thinking, well, this Arsenal team are worse than Southampton. I still think they probably are. This is bad times for us, mate.
Yeah, I think we are, as well as one of the worst in the league. I think we're possibly the most vulnerable. You score a goal against us, and that's it. Our heads are gone. We need to score 3 goals a game now just to get a point. I mean, that's another home game we conceded 3 in. This one, Newcastle, Spurs. That's the last 3 home games. I think we've conceded 9 goals. Yeah. It's not good. And the manager said, Pellegrini said, home games are the important ones, or more important, or however he worded it. Well, tonight's going to come back and haunt him a bit. It's just... the thing is, you say something needs to change. I don't know what needs to change. I'm not even convinced. You've listed 3 or 4 options there. I'm not convinced any one of those 3 or 4 will change things. I think you almost need all 3 or 4 things in order for it to change. I just don't see how or what could change. Tonight was massive, and I'm not confident for Southampton. I wasn't confident for Southampton before tonight. Like yourself, I thought we might win tonight. I thought we would win tonight, and then lose on Saturday against Southampton. It would be sort of this merry-go-round of results, if you like. There's a lot of pressure on the football club right now to do something with Pellegrini. There's a lot of pressure because fans are obviously going to be raging tonight, and we're sad, but the fans that attended tonight will be raging.
Oh yeah,
they will be raging. I think if I was there, I'd come out fuming rather than being sad. I think I'd come out raging. So they're going to have to do something. There was enhanced checks at the London Stadium tonight. Okay, now they've said it's because of that London attack thing, but is it because they don't want any board out banners being shown or stuff? Are the board worried that there was going to be a mini protest or something would kick off with the cameras about the board and stuff? Because I think it's the latter. I do think it's the latter.
They didn't look good, those queues, did they?
Was that right?
The queues looked terrible.
No, they did look really bad. I've heard people say that they didn't get their pockets checked. That was just a case of checking for banners, essentially. But the point is, and this has got nothing to do with the game, but the point is there's now pressure, and the pressure's getting cranked up, and the fans are getting louder. And I think you're right. I think people are going to start arguing. I know I'm going to get it for saying I'm not Pellegrini out yet. But the thing is, even after tonight, I'm still not convinced changing the manager would sort anything. I'm still not convinced. Changing the manager isn't going to make Masuaku defend all of a sudden. I'm not saying tonight's loss is solely down to Masuaku, but he's a big fucking contributor to it, because we were looking comfortable until he came onto the pitch, and 2 goals come from his immediate opponent who Creswell was coping against, so he's got to come down with that. I thought Snodgrass was shit again. I don't think he should have started tonight, but in the first half he did a lot of running and stuff, but he took a yellow card for the team, fair enough. But as soon as he was on a booking, he became a danger, he became a liability. If Snodgrass wasn't booked, would he have brought Kolasinac down? I don't know. I'll have to go back and you remember the goal clearer than I did their first one when he's chasing Kolasinac. Could he have took a booking if he was on a booking then? Possibly, I don't know. But he couldn't because he was on a yellow card. He becomes a hindrance to the team. And then when you're 1-0 up, but you turn into a counter-attacking game, and we're trying to counter-attack with no pace on the team. We've got Anderson and Antonio. That was it. I don't think Antonio was...
No, he wasn't.
Right, I don't think he was right tonight. I'm a bit worried that Antonio's going to be struggling for Saturday now. We're going to be going into Saturday against the Southampton team. We've got their tails up a little bit, just below us in the league. And then what? I don't know. I mean, there's... Do you want to do a final words? We've been chatting for a while now. Do you want to start wrapping this up wherever you're thinking? It doesn't have to be about the game.
I don't really know what else to say, Gio. I've got to be honest with you. I know it's a bit of a muddled review.
Well, a muddled fucking game, weren't it?
Yeah, it's really bad. You know, the Arsenal fans were singing our shit must you be. We win we're winning away. Sorry. Absolutely. Yeah, we're really bad. And it is terrible. And what you say about the threes, the Newcastle and those stats aren't even skewed by one big 6-0 or that's a consistent shipping of 3 goals. I just don't see any evidence at all. And I don't know if you saw it in the build-up. They had Benitez in the studio. I know he was in the studio, but I don't know if you saw him dissecting.
No.
Okay, I mean he was at his imperious best. He had the old tactics table out. He was dissecting the Liverpool game and the Man City game and all the rest of it, and speaking very, very intelligently, tactically brilliant. And that is not going to help either, because that is going to put a lot of pressure on. Because a lot of people have seen it, and I say, oi, if anything today. As I say, I felt the players were playing for Pellegrini. I did think that, and I do think initially he got his tactics wrong, but there was a point to respond today. And you say you don't know what a different manager would do, and I know, and I do agree there is a lot to change. Just wonder if somebody else changes things differently and changes things quicker. I wonder if another manager realises.
I think other managers could do better short term. I think they could they'd come in and.
Well, no, yeah, I'm in a substitution. We had a wounded animal there in Arsenal. We were 1-0 up, and you see the goalkeeper kick in and kicked it out into touch. The defenders didn't want to pass it to each other. They really were on the ropes at that point, and I just wonder if there's something tactical then. I mean, you're absolutely right when you say he takes Anderson off and he puts Haller on when it's completely too late. I just wonder when they are wounded if there is a point there where you say, right, let's go for the juggernaut. I'm not even suggesting Benitez would do that to Benitez, defensive manager. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying. Something's very, very wrong. All over. You cannot have this massive run of form like we have, this bad run of form like we have, and suggest anything is right. Everything is wrong. All of a sudden the squad looks lopsided. We don't look like we've got any firepower. We don't look like we've got any pace. It's bad, really bad news, mate.
Yeah, and the worst thing is it's got the transfer window in 3 weeks. Transfer window in 3 weeks, and we don't have a penny to spend, or we've got very few pennies to spend in order to try and rectify it. I think we're going to be in the bottom 3 after this weekend coming out. We're 16th in a minute. I think we're just hanging on out there. I think we're only hanging on out there actually because Leicester won 9-0 at Southampton or something.
We got one point. We're 1 point.
So it's not good. We're going to Southampton, and we're now everybody's team to play, aren't we? You ask any fan around the league, who do you want to play this weekend? They'll say West Ham United, please. We'll play them. Tonight was a big game. I was nervous for tonight, and now I know why, because of what's just happened. It's not good. It's just not good at all. And players will start doubting each other. Those players that were still behind the manager, they're going to be doubting the manager even more now if they weren't already. Pellegrini's going to be doubting if he's going to have a job next week or whatever, because he'll know that his job's in trouble and stuff. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thanks, mate. No, I'm done.
Another crap night for West Ham. Anyway, leave your comments below. Myself and Gonzo are doing a cup of tea on Wednesday, so once this has died down, we've had a couple of days to reflect and stuff, we'll have a bit more of a composed chat over a cup of tea on Wednesday at 8:30. So if you've got any questions for the video, leave them in the comments of this video, and I'll make sure to come back and get them for the video. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe new around here. Save all West Ham. Gonzo, I'll catch you in a bit.
You certainly will. See you later. Thanks for tuning in.